Every year, ESPN brings together some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. And while everyone on the red carpet was willing to talk moments, highlights, and memories from the previous year in sports, I was able to find a few celebrities that couldn't pass up on an opportunity to give a shout out to their service members.
Guys, I just appreciate all you do for our country, especially you Auburn fans out there. Just want to say War Eagle.
Thank you, everybody, for everything that you do. It's just amazing what you do for our country, and we're very thankful for all of you.
All right, thanks, Courtney.
I want to say thank you guys for your service. Thank you. We appreciate you. Stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your service. Love you guys.
What's up, Shrews? How you guys doing, man? Go Hawks.
Thank you for your service, definitely. And I know that it's said all the time, but I truly do mean it.
And I just want to say, as always, love, respect you, thank you for everything, and come home safely.
From the Defense Media Activity, I'm Petty Officer Andrew Johnson. Welcome to the CNO's Navy Birthday All Hands Call, broadcasting live from the Defense Media Activity Studios. I'm Petty Officer Andrew Johnson, and I'll be your host as we take questions from across the fleet and around the world. Joining me on stage is CNO Admiral Jonathan Greener and Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Mike Stevens. Gentlemen, thanks for spending some time with us. We know these shows have a tendency to start slow, so CNO, you mind breaking the ice for us?
You are. Well, first, let's get some questions. We ready to go?
Absolutely, gentlemen. All right. Well, thank you much. We do have a live studio audience. We're also streaming live on Navy.mil, but we encourage you to join the conversation on social media. And standing by in our social media studio, MC1 Brandy Wills. Let's take it back to the fleet. We're going to DDG 57. We've got a phone caller from USS Mitcher. Mitcher, go ahead with your question. For our next one, we're going to be using Skype. We're headed out to Old Ironsides. Constitution, go ahead with your question. Well, if hashtag all hands call wasn't trending already, I think talking port visits might have sped us up a little bit.
That can do something for us, right?
Let's take our first question from the studio audience. Go ahead. Absolutely great question, one that we probably could have done the entire show on. We're going to head back out to San Diego. San Diego, go ahead with your question. It is the playoffs. We started with the softballs. We're throwing some heat now. We're a little different. All right, our next question is coming to us from a naval aviator who's seen the world from a view that most of us have just dreamed about. All right, well, gentlemen, thank you very much. On behalf of the Defense Media Activity, I'm Petty Officer Andrew Johnson. Thanks for watching. Now, which section is mine?
The one that says all.
I feel most free on the track. It's hard to describe. It's almost like poetry. I'm at complete aggression, but at complete peace at the same time, and I'm running down the track. It's like almost I'm outside of my body, and I'm just flying past my competition. It kind of takes me back to when I was a kid, and I used to race my big brother. He was always really athletic, and I looked up to him. We used to race in the streets of our old neighborhood, and I started beating him when I was getting a little older, and then he used to get upset about it, but I eventually started beating him, and I was the fastest kid in the neighborhood. Thinking back on the 2008 Olympics, that was a great honor. It truly was. At the time, I didn't really recognize it because I was all over the world. I was traveling and I was running. That's a moment I'll never forget. I'll always remember. And it was a beautiful moment. But now I'm looking forward to, a new experience in my life. Hence why I joined the Navy. To represent your country in any magnitude, I believe, is a blessing. To be able to give back to your country through your service is a blessing for any man. I'm YNSN Rodney Martin, and I'm currently pursuing the Navy's world-class athlete program with hopes to one day represent the Navy in track and field. I've raced Usain Bolt countless times, Tyson Gay, some of the greatest athletes that this country has ever seen. But the time I spent in boot camp and in A school and the instructors I met and the students I met, words can't describe the impact that they had on my life. They're amazing people. I kind of grew up hard as a kid, kind of like in public housing, what people would call the projects, but I wouldn't call it that because it was houses. I remember people say it takes a community to raise a child, and that's true, even if you're in a bad one. I can honestly, truly say that track and field saved my life. I'm thinking I'm 30 years old now. I've been running track and field my whole life, but I still felt that I haven't done enough where I can do more, I can give more. So the ultimate way to give is through service. So that's what led me to wanting to serve my country in the military. What goes through my mind when I put on my Navy uniform is the history behind it. Like the people that put that uniform on and literally went out to the fleet to protect our country and didn't come back home. When I think about how the Navy has changed me, I would more so say it made me more aware of the sacrifices that the military makes for our country. I'm up close and personal with what it really means to serve this country. And it's more than just thank you for your service. It's like, without you, what I did in the Olympics wouldn't even be possible. When it's all said and done, I'm a sailor first. And I wear that title with just as much or more pride that I wore the title of an Olympian or a world champion. So if this program don't work out, I'm more than happy to go serve with my fellow shipmates in the fleet.
Mama, mama, can't you see? Mama, mama, can't you see? Just what the Navy's done to me. Just what the Navy's done to me.
Welcome to All Hands Update. I'm Petty Officer Andrew Johnson. The DoD and Department of Veterans Affairs work year-round to combat suicide. Navy Chief of Chaplains Rear Admiral Margaret Kibben spoke on seeking out and helping a shipmate who may be struggling.
Just ask them, are you having a difficult time? Are you doing okay? It's really a matter of breaking the silence and reaching out to them to ensure that they realize that they're not alone.
If you or someone you know needs help, visit the Military Crisis Line website for information on how you can help save a life.
I will bear true faith and allegiance. Accordingly, I will conduct myself in the highest ethical manner in all relationships with peers, superiors, and subordinates. Be honest and truthful in my dealings with others and those outside the Navy. Be willing to make honest recommendations and accept those of junior personnel. Encourage new ideas and deliver the bad news, even when it is unpopular. Abide by an uncompromising code of integrity. Take responsibility for my actions and keep my word. Fulfill or exceed my legal and ethical responsibilities in my public and personal life 24 hours a day. Illegal or improper behavior, or even the appearance of such behavior, will not be tolerated. I am accountable for my professional and personal behavior. I will be mindful of the privilege to serve my fellow Americans. I am honored.
Welcome to the Secretary of the Navy's All Hands Call, broadcasting live from the Defense Media Activity Studios.
Thanks for that opportunity, MC2.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. And to break the ice, we're going to start off right with that European presence. Rhoda Spain, go ahead with your question. All right, and moving right along, continuing with our global All Hands Call theme, we're going to take our next question from social media. And who better to handle that than the United States Marine Corps? Standing by with an update, Sergeant Cassandra Flowers. SECNAV spoke to the fleet live from the Defense Media Activity Studios during an all-hands call Tuesday. He answered questions from sailors and Marines around the world about the budget, deployment schedules, and pay and retirement.
Congress has got a commission looking at retirement. They're going to report, I think it's early next year. But the notion that everybody has, everybody in leadership, is that whatever retirement system you joined under, that's a retirement system you'll retire under.
If you missed the live all hands call, you can still watch it on Navy.mil. From the Defense Media Activity, I'm Petty Officer Andrew Johnson. Ray Mabus is the longest-serving service secretary. I had a chance to sit down with him to discuss his initiatives, his passion for the Department of the Navy, and where he finds his inspiration for his job.
The main place I find the inspiration, and I love coming to work every single day, is I get to deal with sailors and Marines. I get to deal with the best that America has to offer. I get to deal with them here in the Pentagon, but more importantly, I get to deal with them around the world where they're deployed. I have the best job in the American government.
So before SECNAV, you've worn some pretty impressive titles, obviously Governor of Mississippi, Ambassador of Saudi Arabia. How did those positions prepare you for your current position? Let's talk about the position of Secretary of the Navy. When you're walking around the Pentagon, you got the hallway, and there's just lined with portraits, and you see the prior secretaries. How does that affect your pride in office?
Well, there have been 75 secretaries now, including me, and every one of them tried to do what was absolutely right for the Navy and Marine Corps in their time. And they all faced the same sorts of issues. Having the right people, making sure they're trained, making sure they've got the right tools, having the right numbers of ships and aircraft later on, making sure that we change power sources from sail to coal to steam and to oil to nuclear. And then making sure that we had those allies, those partners, those working relationships around the world. And so all the way from Benjamin Stoddard, who was sworn in one day, 211 years and one day before I was. He was sworn in on May 18th. I was sworn in on May 19th.
I awake each morning to the sun rising over our nation's capital. My rolling hills rise above the Potomac River, symbolizing the service and an ultimate sacrifice to our country. To many, I'm seen as a national treasure, but to more than 400,000 active duty service members, veterans, and their families, I serve as a final resting place. My existence ensures that these men and women will never be forgotten. Their legacies will live on and forever be part of my presence. I house 5-star generals and unknown souls. I am home to privates and presidents. Even when very much alive, Kennedy remarked that he could stay on my grounds forever, and that he does. I am Arlington National Cemetery. I am home to fallen servicemen from every war in U.S. history. I grieve with more than 25 new families every day as they lay their loved ones to rest. 4.5 million people walk my acres each year. My visitors often hear the firing of 3 rifle volleys in the distance, witness a horse-drawn caisson passing by carrying an American flag-draped casket, feel a lump in their throat as a lone bugler plays the 24 lingering notes of taps. I am witness to the father who lays stones on the graves that flank his son in hopes that even in the beyond, all sides are covered, and to the mother who cries endless tears into my soil. I am a living tribute to our nation's past and how it continues to thrive through the service and sacrifice of those willing to dedicate their life to its ideals. I am Arlington National Cemetery. Long may I live.